Hello and welcome back. For today's video I am so excited because I'm going to be trying out a full face of Delilah makeup. One of my favourite products I've been using recently that you may have seen me mention quite a few times is this one here, which is their setting spray, primer setting spray. You can use it for all sorts, but it's the Delilah Wake Up Radiant Hydrating Skin and Makeup Mist. This stuff is incredible, it really is. And now I've got loads of products to do a full face with. So look, I've got it all in here. So yeah, I mean, I've heard some really amazing things about this brand in general, which is why I was dying to try out some more products from them. But yeah, their products are all, I've got this in here, powered by plants. So it's all 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and easy to love. I'm sure it is. So I've got, look, it all looks so luxury. Look at it. It looks like really quite beautiful makeup, you know, the packaging. We've got the foundation, I've got the setting powder, I have this bronzer, yeah, bronzer, I've got an eyeshadow palette which looks stunning, a liquid blush, mascara, a primer and an eyebrow pencil, and I'll use that setting spray in there as well. So we'll start off with primer, and for that I have this one here. So this is the Wake Up Radiant Elixir. And this, I believe, is like a skincare primer duo. So we have in here, we've got raspberry stem cells, hyaluronic acid and bakuchiol. Bakuchiol is one that's used in a lot of K-beauty products. It's like a natural alternative to retinol. So we get 20 ml of product in here. I'm gonna pump. Oh, look. I don't know why, I thought it was gonna be clear, but it looks like that. So really nice actually. I probably could have just done with one pump, but yeah, so oh, that looks really lovely. I think it comes in 2 shades actually. Yeah, it does. So we've got this one here, which is Candlelight, and then there's Moonlight as well, which looks like it's a bit more pinky toned. So let's pop a bit of this on. Because this is like a radiant one, I'm going to go all over my face. Normally with primers I tend to just concentrate on certain areas, but we'll get the glow all over today, I think. Feels really nice going on, I have to say. You know, oh, look at that. Look at that glow. Wow, this is really nice. It actually reminds me of another product that I've used before and I can't remember what it is, but wow, look at that. So you can use this on its own, you know, to just have that kind of radiant glow, or you can use it like I am, like underneath your foundation as like an illuminating primer. It does actually give almost a bit of like a bronzing drop situation. Makes you look a little bit sun-kissed. I would say personally, I wouldn't use this, well not this much anyway, maybe a little bit on its own. Maybe I would mix it with like moisturiser or something like that. It's just got that a little bit too much glow for me as a product on its own, but I reckon underneath the foundation it's going to be really nice. So we'll leave that to do its thing and we'll move on to eyeshadow. So I have this palette here. It's really reflective. I'm trying not to get too much glare on there. And then this here is the Colour Story. I really like this. You can get kind of like a really nice smoky look from it. We've got these deeper tones in here, or darker tones, and then these really nice neutrals. So this is what I would call like a perfect day to night palette. Obviously 9 pans in here as well. They are quite smallish pans, I would say. However, you know, that doesn't bother me too much. If the quality is really good, obviously you're not going to need as much product. I'd rather it be smaller pans and a good quality product than big pans that you need to keep dipping into constantly. Okay, so I've just primed my eyes. Don't know what to go for actually. I don't think I want to go for too dark today. I'm going to concentrate more on these ones, I think. This comes in 3 shades, by the way. So we've got this one here, which is Jezebel, and then there is Venus and also Damsel. So Venus is more of a kind of a warm tone palette, and then Damsel is kind of a bit of both really, warm and cool. So I'm just starting off by going into this shade just here, which is kind of a really nice, almost a bit of a bronzer toned brown. So I'm just going to take this one into my crease just here. Wow, these are really nice, you know. You know when you can tell that an eyeshadow, when you put it on, is really nice quality? This is one of those. It almost feels quite velvety. Blends really nicely as well. Decent amount of pigment, like really nice pigment. Yeah, look at that. That's, to me, that's a perfect shade for just going in and deepening up that crease. I think that's beautiful. They do also do some eyeshadow sticks as well. I'm not going to put them in today's video because I want to concentrate on this palette, but the sticks are really nice as well. I have put those into a short actually, a couple of weeks ago I think it was. I'll tag it down below for you, but yeah, they're really nice as well. I really like that. I think that's gorgeous. It's a bit greyish actually when it's on. It's got it's obviously like a brown shade, but it's got that slight kind of greyness to it. So the next colour I'm going to use, I'm actually going to use this one, you know, just to blend out the edge a bit. So we'll just use this and just tickle around the edge like that, nice and light. Yeah, that's worked really well. See, that one's much smoother now. You can see, I mean, that looks all right. You know, if you like it to be that bit deeper, then that one's fine, but that one definitely looks softer, more for an everyday sort of look. Fabulous. So the next shade, I think I'm actually going to go with the shimmer next. I did that the other day, kind of by accident, and I really liked how it looked. So for shimmers, we have these, I think this one's a shimmer as well, actually. Yeah, we have these four, but I want to go for one of these. Let's give them a quick swatch. God, these are smooth, like really smooth. So that's what they look like. So that's the first. Oh, that's really pretty actually. And the next one, that's also really nice. That's the black one. It's not that shimmery. It's one of those ones I think that's like dark and then it's got a hint of shimmer, even an overspray maybe. So that's what those ones are like. Oh, I think I might actually go for that first one, you know. So that was this shade just here, I think. No, it wasn't. It was the middle one, this one. See, look how nice that picks up on the brush. Yeah, these are like proper smooth, proper smooth. So this one, I have a feeling I'm going to get quite a lot of fallout from, yeah. But that's fine. I haven't done my base yet. I've only done the primer. I'm going to use a brush because I want it to be quite nice and soft. I'm going to take it almost all over my lid. So that's really pretty. As I say, it's very subtle, but that's what I was going for. So that's absolutely fine. But yeah, obviously, if you want it to be a bit more intense, then you can go for the other ones. Like this one, I reckon will be a lot more intense. Should I just use a little bit? I'll just use a little bit. I'll go over it with my finger. So this one, just over a little bit and see, it's, I mean, it's a deeper shade of gold. It's almost a bit more bronzy, but obviously if you want to go slightly deeper shimmer, you can see, can't you, then that one is probably a better option. So the next thing I'm going to do is dip into this shade here, which is it's almost got a bit of a mauvey tone to it actually. And that one I'm going to use right on the outer corner, just here. And then we'll just gently blend that into that shimmer shade. So just like that, it's just a little bit on the outer corner, but I do like doing this. I used to do this a lot, you know, with more like black, like, which is actually underneath. There is a black underneath. I could have done that, but yeah, no, I wanted to use this shade. But yeah, I just like doing this. It's such a simple thing to do, but it's really effective. Nice. I would personally say it's a lovely little palette, really nice. But I would say that the matte shades definitely overpowered the shimmer shades for me. You know, with how I felt about it, I felt that matte shades were really nice, like really nice, really easy to blend, you know, beautiful pigment, whereas the shimmer shades were a little bit, I'm used to them being quite, shimmers having quite a punch. I think that's what it is, whereas this is a more natural palette. Still lovely, don't get me wrong, really nice shimmers. They're just not as foiled as I'm used to. So for mascara, we have this. It's quite hard to see the gold on gold, isn't it? On camera anyway. It's a little bit more obvious in person. But this is the Intense Day to Night Buildable Volumizing Mascara. They do two different ones. They do this one, and then they also have the Definitive Volumizing and Defining Mascara as well, which I think is probably a bit more natural, whereas this one's obviously more intense. So it says that this one has jojoba oil in it as well to nourish the lashes at the same time, which is always good. So this is what the wand looks like. It's actually really quite lovely. It's a nice wand. It's quite long, which I like. And we'll go in, start at the base. Oh, it grips nicely. Grips really nicely. Yeah, can you see how well that's combing through? Those little ones at the corner. I like to do that with the tip of the wand. Something I've liked to do more recently is obviously apply the mascara to all of my lashes, and when I get to the edge, I like to kind of use it, like the wand, just to give them a little lift at the end. Kind of opens up the eyes a bit more. That's nice. It's that's just one coat. It's definitely given the length, and as I say, I like how it separates, like how it grips the lashes and then really does comb through. I've got some on my lid, I always do. I'll sort that out when it dries. Okay, so we'll just go in with the second coat now. See how well it builds. Seems to build really nicely, actually. I do love this wand. Do you know what? I normally prefer a plastic wand, but this one is really nice. I don't know if it's because it's longer than the ones I'm used to. Like normally when I have these type of ones, they seem to be a bit like, the one's a bit fatter, like a bit bushier. And as you can tell, I'm quite messy with mascara. So I end up getting loads of it all over my lid, like more than usual. Whereas this one, because it's narrower and longer. Wow, look at that. Look at that. They look so long. I've tried some really good mascaras lately, and this one is definitely up there with those. That is incredible. Look, one coat, two coats. Wow, they look so long. That's really nice. So two coats on both now. I don't think my lashes are as long on this side as they are on this side, you know. But no, it's amazing. Like amazing, that mascara. Wow. Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, if you're going to give us intense, then give us intense. And they definitely have. But saying that, it's not like, you know, clumpy. They don't look like spider or anything. They still look quite natural. But we've got that thickness to them, like the volume and the length and everything. That's a really nice mascara. Really nice. So we'll do some foundation now, and we're going on with this one here. So this is the Alibi Perfect Cover Fluid Foundation. They had a few options for base products. So we have this one. There's also the Future Resist Foundation with SPF 20 in it, which is more of a tubey situation. And then they also, which I'm in an R in, I wasn't sure whether to get this one or the Wake Up Radiant Skin Tint, because I love a skin tint as well. But I went for this one in the end. Not a bad shade range, I wouldn't say. It's pretty good actually. It goes from really quite light to quite deep actually. And there's a decent jump in between shades. You know, there's not two shades that are like really close together. So I have the shade Pillow. That's really cute. And it says shake well, so we will. Oh, my brushes are quite dirty, you know, I need to clean them. I'm going to go with this one. So I'll take 2 pumps, I think, to start off with. It's quite a runny consistency. I don't mind that though. I actually quite like it. It looks a bit light actually. That is full cover though. Start off with a little bit. I think it is going to be a little bit light, but that's fine. We can warm it up. I've got bronzer, haven't I? Quite a full cover. A little bit. Ooh, look, it's quite runny. It's gone down my hand. A little bit of this will go a long way. I've definitely taken too much here. I'll try and spread it out a bit. Take my sponge and just press that in a bit. I really like how it blends out actually. It blends out really nicely. I'm really wary of it running down my arm. I've got a black top on. It does have a really nice coverage. So I'd say it's quite full actually, quite full cover, that one. Look how much it covers my redness, my hyperpigmentation. You can see on this side, look, I've got the same on both sides. So my hyperpigmentation here, it covers it reasonably well. Yeah, it definitely dries down to a more matte finish though, I would say. Not normally a matte person, but you know, it looks nice and it doesn't look drying, which is the reason I don't tend to go for matte products as much, is because I find them to be quite drying on me, whereas this one doesn't, I have to say. Let's take a bit less on this side this time. But no, I think it's a really nice product, and I actually really like, as I say, how it blends out. I think it's because it has that kind of more fluid consistency to it. It does blend really nicely. I mean, I'm just kind of plonking it on with the brush and then using my sponge to blend it out with this kind of consistency. I prefer to do that. I find that's the best way with these. Do you know what? Once it's blended in, it's actually not that bad at all, colour-wise. It does match my neck. I do find that at the moment, I said this in my last video, because my rosacea's really, you know, prominent at the moment, should we say, like flaring up quite a lot. It's making me look a lot sort of, I suppose, a bit deeper in skin tone, to be honest, than I actually am. So a lot of the time when I'm getting foundations, I'm actually getting them a little bit too deep or too warm for my skin. So that's how it's looking all over. It's really nice. It's a good colour match, actually. It actually matches really well. No, it's really nice. No, it's a nice foundation. Definitely more matte than I'm used to, but I don't dislike it. I think, you know, because I've got that primer underneath, this illuminating one, even though it is matte, it's not looking flat. It's looking quite, you know, multi-dimensional, should we say, on my face. It's got that luminosity to it. So yeah, I think the mix between that and the primer has been quite good, actually. Yeah, it's nice. And then before we move on to the rest of the base products, I am just going to quickly finish off my brows. All I've done is, and this was right before I started filming, was put a bit of the Maybelline Super Fluff, which I use all the time, just to add a little bit of colour to my brows. But I just want to add a little bit of hair strokes just at the front here and underneath. So we have the Delilah Brow Line retractable eyebrow pencil. So this comes in two shades. I've got the shade Ash, and then the other one is Sable. So we have a little brush on the end here, and then we have our little retractable pencil just here as well. It's actually quite nice and fine. Can you see that? It's really nice and fine. So as I say, I want to try and get some hair strokes out of this. Start off at the front just here, some little flicky motions. I haven't used a pencil in ages, you know. I normally use pens nowadays. That's nice. It's a good colour, actually. It's a good colour for me. And then underneath, it's got pigment to it, which I like. Sometimes I find, especially after I've done like the rest of the products on my eyes or whatever, I often find that pencils, sometimes they don't go over other products that well, whereas this one seems to be absolutely fine. It's a really good colour for me. I wasn't sure when I first ordered it. I thought, oh, is that going to be too light? Because sometimes I find that even though, you know, the ends of my hair are quite light, the root area is a bit darker, so I like to go a bit darker. But no, that's really quite nice. It's quite natural, isn't it? Okay, so that's how I look in. Yeah, nice. As far as a pencil goes, as I say, I normally use pens nowadays, or just like a coloured brow gel, or, you know, brow mousse or whatever. But as far as pencils go, it's actually really nice. I love how it's the colour comes off really well. It's quite hard to explain, but yeah, sometimes it's almost like pencils I find to be that, like, physically a bit too hard, like the actual product's too hard, and sometimes you can spend ages trying to get any pigment from it, whereas this one I found to be quite easy. Yeah, it's nice. So we're on with the bronzer now, and we have this one here. This is the Sunset Compact Matte Bronzer. I got light medium, so it looks like that. It's just like a matte bronzer. Looks very nice though. It's a nice shade. Okay, so I'll take this around the usual areas even though this foundation does match me really well, I feel quite pale. So yeah, I want to warm myself up quite a bit. This is really nice. It's blending lovely. Look at that. That was effortless. It's a nice shade as well, actually. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how well this is blending. Like, look, a few taps like that and we're done. That's what I like. No messing about. I actually think that's the quickest I've ever applied bronzer. That is really, really good. Possibly one of the best bronzers I've ever used, I would say, just with how good quality it is, because as soon as you dip the brush in, a few tappy taps and you're done. It's almost like I didn't need to blend it. It kind of blended itself. Really nice shade as well, as I say. It's got the right amount of warmth to it, like for a bronzer. Sometimes, you know, it can be a little bit too cool toned, like more like contour. Sometimes they're too orange, whereas that is pretty much perfect. Really excited to try this now because I love a liquid blush. So we have the In Bloom Radiant Liquid Blush. How many colours were there of these? Yeah, they do have a powder blush as well, but I love a liquid blush, as you probably know if you've seen my videos before. There were 3 shades. So there was, this one is Sweet Pea, I think. No, Tiger Lily. So this one's Tiger Lily. And then they also have Peony and Sweet Pea. They're all really cute names, aren't they? So a little tube. Actually, I'll give it a quick shake first. Yeah, I think this one, from what I could tell online, is a bit more of like a coral. Yeah, very slightly. So like that, which I think is a really pretty shade. So I'm going to use a brush. Yeah, I'm going to use this one just here and just dip that into the product. And then take that. Oh, what a gorgeous shade. That is such a pretty shade. I think that's really nice. I really like how dewy it is, you know, and you can make this quite intense or you can make it quite sheer. Alfie's doing my head in. He is at 6th form, but he's got some Amazon parcels coming because he's using his, he's got like, it's called a Raspberry Pi. It's kind of like a little computer that you can use for I don't know, use it for programming to make stuff. And they're really good. I'll be honest, I don't know how he does this stuff, but he's been making all sorts. And he was ordering a load of parts for it last night to do some bits, and he keeps asking me, his Amazon bin. That's why I keep looking over, because I'm constantly getting messages from him today. Look at that. How pretty is that? That is so nice. Really, I love how these products look together. They all look so natural and like seamless. Oh, I love that. That is really nice. That is beautiful. And it's quite true to colour as well, like how it comes off. But at the same time, as I say, you can sheer it out and it doesn't look quite as intense. Oh, I love it. I think that is such a nice colour. I am just going to, actually, no, I use the powder. I was going to do highlight. I normally do powder right at the end. I know it's a bit weird, but that's just how I prefer to do it. So we'll do powder next. So we've got this one here, which is the Pure Touch Microfine Loose Powder. Sounds really nice. I got translucent, so it's a sifter type one. You can see we've got like a sifter. Just pop the lid back on and get some products out. Quite a lot there, and that's how it looks. And then I use a brush and a puff. So we'll start off with the brush and then we'll take it on the forehead first. So I tend to just concentrate on the center very lightly. I don't use loads of powder, but lately I have been using more than I used to, as in more areas, not more actual powder. So yeah. Ooh. Nope, must be my brush cleaner. Or my perfume, I don't know. I just got a really nice whiff then. Right, and then I'll go down my nose. A little bit on the chin and Cupid's bow. Here on both sides. It's very fine, like it says micro fine. It is extremely fine, which I like. That's what I want. I don't like heavy powder or anything. So yeah, no, that's ideal for me, I would say. And I'm just going to go in with a puff, basically picking up any excess that's in here. And then with this, I just go, see how I'm really pory just here. So I like to just press that into that area, just there, just to mattify those pores a bit, make them less obvious. And just any excess, just take it under my eye. Oh my goodness, look at that on my pores. I wasn't expecting that. Look at this glitter is from the eyeshadow from the Fallout. I tried really hard to get rid of it, but that's all right, I'll sparkle. But yeah, look at that. So without and with, but it doesn't look dry or cakey. That's why it looks really smooth, which is why I was so shocked. I mean, you know, powder does do that in general, but normally, you know, it's to get that effect, you'd have to really cake it on, but I haven't. On this side again. So I just kind of really press it in. But there's not much product on this puff at all. See, look. It's so smooth, like really smooth. That's really nice. Right then, so I'm going to do highlighter next. Now, I didn't pick up a highlighter. I couldn't find one actually. However, I think this primer that I used at the beginning would work quite well as a liquid highlighter. So we're going to try that. I'm going to take a little bit, just that much, on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take my finger and just go onto the normal highlighter areas. Then I'm going to take my sponge and roll like this. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's not too intense. Obviously, you know, I don't think this is supposed to be or intended to be used as a highlighter. So it's not like really intense or anything like that, but it does give a really nice natural glow, which I'm kind of liking at the moment, to be honest. I do like an intense highlighter, don't get me wrong, but sort of general everyday wear, I do like a bit more of just a natural glow. So without and with, yeah, it's really nice, you know, works quite well. So I just set that all down and we're going to take this setting spray. So this, as I say, is the Delilah Wake Up Radiant Hydrating Skin and Makeup Mist. Love this. I've probably only got about half a tube left now. I've been using it all the time. It's really nice to use before you apply your makeup, as I say, as a primer, especially if you're prone to dry areas like myself, like round here. I find it really good for that. But also, you know, at the end for just making everything look a little bit more put together, shall we say. Kind of helps things to mesh quite nicely. Sorry, I was covering the microphone there because I don't really want to get any spray on it. And it's such a fine mist as well, which I love. I love a fine mist on a setting spray. But yeah, just like that. And then I just dry it off. Okay, so that's how it looks after the spray. Just looks really nice. I love how it looks. As I say, I've been absolutely addicted to that spray. I really have. But no, it's beautiful. Very, very nice. And that one contains hyaluronic acid, pomegranate extract, which is really rich in antioxidants, damask rose water, and orange blossom water as well. Very lastly, we're going to go on with lips, and for that I'm going to be using these two products just here. So we have the lip liner is the Delilah Lip Liner Long Wear Retractable Pencil, and then the lip, is this a gloss? I can't remember now. I think it's a gloss. I can't remember if it was a gloss or a matte liquid lipstick, but this one is in the shade Cupid. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a gloss. I just checked. So the lip liner comes in 4 different shades. I've got the shade Vixen. I couldn't see it. My eyesight isn't the best. I wear glasses normally. Oh, he's messaging me again. My days. I have 9 new WhatsApp notifications. I better answer him. Wasn't even about Amazon that time. He was asking me if he had permission to apply to a job at Iceland. Be my guest. Right, so lip liner is so smooth, like really smooth. That I love that in a lip liner. Yeah, this is a sort of one that you can use like all over. What a beautiful shade. Yeah, look how effortlessly that just glides on. That's a really nice liner, like really nice. I'm just going to take my finger and just blend that out a bit. Nice, like that. So then we're going with the gloss. So as I say, this one is in the shade Cupid. So this one comes in 5 shades. Ooh, nice little sweet smell there. Oh, look at that shade. That goes with the liner. So nice. Oh wow, I love that combo. It's like a dusky pink, but with a hint of like autumnness to it. That feels really nice as well. It feels really hydrating. Non-sticky, which is good. Look at the gloss. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, really nice shade. Definitely the sort of shade that, you know, I would go for on an everyday basis. So here is the finished look, and yeah, it's probably going to be no surprise at all that I'm really happy with it. I think it's really nice. All the products I think are lovely, really lovely. My favourite, I mean, it's going to be this because I've been using it non-stop, is the setting mist, primer setting mist. I normally use it for both. I also really love the mascara. I mean, look, the length it gives you and the volume as well, but without being like, as I say, spidery. It looks really nice and natural as well. Oh, the bronzer, love the bronzer. That's really, I can't believe how effortless that was, like blended itself. The only thing that I will say I probably wasn't quite as impressed with, but it doesn't mean I wasn't impressed, just not as impressed, was the eyeshadow palette. But I have to say though, I love the matte shades. It's just the shimmers didn't quite give me quite enough. There wasn't enough sparkle. So as always, I will link all products shown in today's video in the description box below for you. I do also have a Delilah discount code as well. I'll stick that down there. I think it's like 22% off. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and I'd really appreciate it. It'd mean the absolute world to me if you did enjoy watching this video and you would like to see more content from me in the future and you would like to subscribe to my channel. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye!